Well, hello everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is your monthly chat with one of our great QC managers. There is none better than the one you're looking at here. This is Dave Bernard. Dave, you want to introduce yourself for the LinkedIn audience?
Sure. My name is David Bernard, Senior Operations Manager here at the DC office, handling operations at our Boston office and Buffalo throughout the Northeast. Here we do handle a good amount of government work, security work, and that's kind of what leads us into our project topic for today.
Yeah. So, Dave, you did a fun project. Why don't you? You went to Japan. I know nothing about the project except that it was in Okinawa. It looks like you're wearing a shirt inspired by Japanese fashion a little bit. So maybe the trip rubbed off on you in more ways than just professionally. But why don't you tell us, about the project and goals, the type of data you were collecting, and yeah.
Sure. See if I can. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, kind of give a little visual of where we're working at. This project was for Jacobs. They had a goal to come up with recommendations for short-term solutions to present problems, something that we all do and we're often working on. Their goal was to make a long-term improvement to this area, and there was a lot of future development plans coming to Kadena, so they wanted to make sure that they were prepared for that. So as you can see, we are here in Okinawa, Japan. I can't zoom out right now, but we are on the airbase. So that kind of that brings up some of the challenges that I was going to go over,
The
which is,
whole thing was on a U.S. military base.
yep, the whole thing. And part of the challenges starting off the bat is just getting there. We're not only going to Japan or Tokyo, but we're in Okinawa. So we have to get around 40 cameras, around 10 to 15 poles, and Dave to Okinawa, Japan. Um, Another issue that came up is this had to happen in August, and this is in the middle of typhoon season. So I was coordinating with the clients and the airbase. We wanted to make sure that all data was collected at completely normal times. It was a 3-day recording, and we were trying to make sure that we were there at a time that did not have a ton of weather. And a typhoon did hit right when we were originally about to go over there. So that caused some issues trying to communicate back on Okinawa with rental vehicles and hotel stays. I was coordinating with the base to try to extend some of those communications, but we were trying to dodge the typhoons at the time and make sure everyone was safe to get normal data.
And so it was just you go?
For quality counts, it was just me. Yep. Actually, there were 5 clients on site that were kind of doing on-site observations, and it was fun to kind of meet them out there, but I was the only one for quality counts.
It was Jacobs, like Americans from Jacobs, or were you? It was
Yeah,
Jacobs, right?
yeah, Americans. I think they were coming out of their Houston, Texas office.
Um, cool. Okay. Yeah. Um, so what was, you've done data collection in the U.S. forever. Any other unique differences with like doing data collection? And this was a military base. Did it feel like you were kind of in like Little America? Or did you feel like you were in Japan?
Yeah, one big thing that I learned up top, and sometimes working with the client can be good. Just the more you can communicate, the better. You can't just rent any rental car and drive it onto the base. I had to work with a rental company inside the base that was kind of approved, granted access. There were only very specific companies that were allowed on and off the base. So we tried to do a little bit of like investigating and seeing who would be allowed in and off the base. And that is something that we had to think of up front. And then there's the flight. So it took almost 24 hours to fly to Okinawa from DC. Um, it was kind of a challenge to communicate back home at the US because we're like almost exactly 12 hours off.
Uh,
And one of my favorite things to do was just to tell everyone that I was in the future. But like sometimes, we still have to work with reduction. I still need to check and make sure that we got our videos back in the US. So that was one of the things I was dealing with there.
yeah, a refilm. Yeah, you want to
Yep.
make sure you get the refilm done while you're still there, if there were any
Yeah.
that were needed.
And actually, we did pretty good. Like we had everything backed up, so we kind of had like one shot to do this. We really made sure that everything was rocking out that first time. Um, phone calls is another thing too. Like we can't like I was coordinating with the client, so we had to use WhatsApp. We couldn't call each other, we couldn't text each
Uh,
other. WhatsApp is kind of like the known go-to international app when you want to try to like text and communicate there.
yeah.
Um, I have
Um,
another oh, I have another picture here of so this is shipping from DC over to Okinawa. Um, the larger
that's what you
cases and
shipped.
the larger cases are the poles that we brought just to make sure that we had every angle that we needed. Sometimes we use poles in the field, sometimes we're creating our own, and then we have close to 40 to 50 cameras there too.
Wow. This seems like it was, you know, like 80% of the work here was like logistics and paperwork.
Yeah, that is it. Like I mean, when you're actually there on site, it's pretty much the same. There one of the other big differences driving on the left side of the road. On the other side of the road, you're you're also having to make paperwork backwards, which was a little bit different as well.
Still enough field
So,
work.
and one, I got used to driving on the other side of the road, but one thing that did kept popping up is that the turn signal was on the right and the wipers were on the left. So every time I wanted to make a turn, I ended up accidentally putting on my wipers because I'm also driving sitting on the other side of the car. So I talked with the base sponsor about that, and they said that it was so common that it was called the Kadena wave.
16 ways.
Yep.
Um, I feel like when I first met you, one of the things I remember, like, you know, uh, knowing about you is like you handle these unique, complicated projects. And yeah, like that's kind of like your specialty a little bit. Um, Military bases and paperwork and like all the setup and logistics and international. Like after this one, do you feel even more invigorated to like we can do anything anywhere, or are you like it's not worth the work, or how do you feel about these kind of projects? Uh,
That was actually honestly my full thought after this project. Like, if we can get Dave and 45 cameras to Okinawa, Japan, and record on the airbase successfully without any major hiccups, then we can pretty much tackle just about everything.
yeah, it's
It's
kind of like
funny,
the hardest. Yeah,
we always get asked, like in DC or Virginia, we're asked, like, oh, do you guys cover Pennsylvania? And like, it's like, I try not to laugh because, like, of course we do. Like, that's to me, that's half the fun of this job, honestly, is getting to go to all these random places, see these different areas that are so different, and that is one of the joys of working here at Quality Counts.
yeah. Okay, last question. What was the best thing you ate while you were there?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm big on sushi. I'm big on sushi. So I can't even remember what it's called, but you go to these sushi buffets. I like to eat a lot. And it did help that like I had a lot of pictures because I couldn't like communicate all the time. So you get like this little tablet and like you see this picture of some sushi. It's just like these little small dishes and it's always coming by on a track.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They're on a
Almost
little riverboat or the
yeah,
little
almost
river
like the
of
little
plates.
train. So
Yeah.
like you see that, you're like, oh, that looks good. Like I press the button, like like it comes within like a minute, a little dish with like maybe two of like this different type of sushi to try. And then you
Yeah.
eat that, you try something new, and then it comes on the train, you get to try that too. Um, a couple quick slides here too. So there's Dave out in Japan. There's our and with working with our poles and our count cams.
Nice.
This is right off the base, but you can see how things are just a little bit different. It was hot. That's another thing I didn't say.
Uh,
Like brutally hot. Okinawa, Japan in August is humid. And all the workers there have these like big vests, almost like an astronaut vest with the fans. So like they got like two fans on the front, like two fans on the back, constantly blowing on them when they're working outside. I didn't have the fan vest, but maybe if I get another chance, I'll try to
that's
jump
on
on
the
it.
base.
Yeah, it was on the base too. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Because I think there's a lot of contractors there like working on the base too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got approval to use like this sign right here. I thought this was pretty cool. So this is actually at Kadena Airbase, one of our camera setups. That's kind of what they would look like usually in the field where we did have to use our own poles. And
Rack
then
straps to that sign. Nice.
I was right, like I'm like right on the airbase. So like there's me driving around from pole to pole, and these huge Air Force planes are taking off and landing
Wow.
pretty close to me, right where I'm at. But it's kind of cool to like really get that real Top Gun feeling of like being out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this is what they call American Village. That's kind of the beauty of it, right? So that's where I'm staying, testing my cameras, and I'm traveling from here to the base every day. And I mean, it's beautiful. It's very,
Yeah. That's
everything's
cool.
different. The one thing
Yeah.
that like a lot of people ask me that is so true is it's so clean. And
Mm,
like I don't even see like people going around like sweeping the streets and cleaning everything so much,
mm.
but it really was beautiful. I do
Did you
I
eat an
have a
acai pancake?
What was that?
Did you eat an acai pancake?
I did not have that.
Okay. It was on it was on a sign there in that last picture, but
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, what's
So
this
and
one?
here I got a leisurely picture here. This is called the Stairway to Heaven. And so my off time, I got to run up and down the Stairway of Heaven, and it was something that they spoke very highly of, and it definitely took some work there. And then my final picture here. This is Okinawa, Japan. There's no filter, there's no
Wow.
coloring put to this. That's just what it looks like out there. So, like with a lot of these things in everything in life, like the greatest things come through a lot of effort, but the opportunity of a lifetime, it showed what quality counts could really accomplish, and this is a good one for our resume, but it really shows what we can do. And with great effort here, it gets great reward. That's what I had there.
Well, you make it look easy, Dave. These are hard projects, and yeah, you're not emailing the client with a million complaints and issues and excuses. You go, you get it done, you find a way. Great job. Thanks for the photos. I didn't know you had these. I should have had you leave these. Um, but thanks, Dave, and everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, have a good day.
All right, guys.